What if just one simple sentence could stay in someone's mind long after the conversation ends? Not because it's loud or dramatic, but because it quietly touches something deeper in human psychology. Today, we're going to explore three powerful sentences that can completely change the emotional tone of a conversation. Welcome back to my channel, the channel where we explore the deeper layers of female psychology, attraction, and human connection. Today, we're going to talk about three powerful sentences that can quietly spark curiosity and leave a lasting impression during a conversation. When someone says, "I feel like there's more to you than what people usually notice," it touches something deeper than a normal compliment. Most people go through daily conversations where others focus only on the surface. They hear comments about appearance, style, or obvious personality traits. Over time, those kinds of compliments start to feel routine. They don't create a strong emotional reaction anymore because they're expected. But this sentence works differently. It shifts attention away from the surface and points towards something deeper. It suggests that there's a hidden side, a layer of personality that most people overlook. That small idea alone can spark curiosity because everyone carries parts of themselves that they feel others don't truly see. When someone hears a sentence like this, the mind naturally pauses for a moment. It creates a small emotional question. What exactly was noticed? What made the person say that? That curiosity begins to open the door for a more meaningful conversation. The power of this sentence also comes from the tone behind it. It doesn't sound exaggerated or dramatic. It sounds calm and thoughtful. Instead of trying to impress or flatter, it feels like an honest observation. And when words feel genuine, people tend to take them more seriously. Another reason this sentence is effective is that it acknowledges individuality. Many people secretly hope that someone will notice the deeper parts of who they are, not just the things that everyone can see, but the thoughts, the personality, and the energy that make them different. When someone senses that another person might be paying attention to those deeper qualities, it creates a sense of being understood. That feeling can be surprisingly powerful because being understood is one of the strongest emotional connections people can experience. It makes a conversation feel more personal. Even if the interaction is still light and casual, what also makes this sentence memorable is that it leaves space for interpretation. It doesn't explain everything. It doesn't try to define exactly what was noticed. That small amount of mystery allows the other person's mind to stay engaged. They may start wondering what specific quality was recognized. Sometimes they might even reflect on their own personality in that moment. They may think about the parts of themselves that others rarely notice. This type of reflection keeps the conversation emotionally interesting because it moves beyond simple small talk. Another important detail is that the sentence shows attention. It signals that someone is not just talking for the sake of talking, but is actually observing and paying attention to the person in front of them. In a world where many conversations feel rushed or distracted, that kind of attention can stand out more than people expect. At the same time, the sentence does not pressure the other person. It simply opens the door for a deeper connection without forcing anything. The conversation can still stay relaxed and natural, but there is now a subtle sense that something meaningful has been noticed. That combination of curiosity, calm confidence, and genuine observation is what gives this sentence its impact. It's not about saying something complicated. It's about creating a moment where someone feels seen in a way that feels rare and thoughtful. And those are the kinds of moments people tend to remember long after the conversation ends. When someone says, "There's a certain energy around you," it's interesting. It creates a very different kind of moment in a conversation. It is not a typical compliment about appearance or something obvious. Instead, it points towards something that feels more personal and harder to define. Because of that, it naturally captures attention. People are used to hearing predictable comments. They often hear things like, "You look nice," or "You seem friendly." While those comments are polite, they usually don't stay in someone's mind for very long. They are common and expected. But when someone mentions energy, the conversation suddenly feels a little deeper and a little more thoughtful. The word energy carries a lot of meaning without being too specific. It can refer to presence, personality, the way someone carries themselves, or the feeling they create in a room. Because it is open to interpretation, it allows the other person's mind to become curious. They may start wondering what exactly was noticed about them. That curiosity is an important part of human psychology. When the brain encounters something slightly mysterious, it naturally wants to understand it better. Instead of forgetting the moment, the mind keeps replaying it. It tries to figure out what the observation might mean. Another reason this sentence works well is because it sounds calm and observational rather than overly enthusiastic. It doesn't feel like someone is trying too hard to impress or gain approval. It simply sounds like an honest thought that was noticed in the moment. Confidence often appears in the way something is said, not just in the words themselves. When a person calmly shares an observation without over-explaining it, it signals that they are comfortable with themselves and their perspective. That kind of relaxed certainty can make a conversation feel more balanced and natural. The sentence also has another subtle effect. It highlights presence. Many people move through daily interactions where conversations feel quick and distracted. Phones, busy schedules, and constant noise can make it hard for anyone to feel truly noticed. When someone pauses long enough to observe another person's presence or energy, it shows attention. Feeling noticed in that way can be surprisingly meaningful. It tells someone that the person speaking is actually paying attention to the moment, rather than simply going through routine conversation. Another interesting part of this sentence is its simplicity. It doesn't contain complicated language or dramatic praise. In fact, its power comes from how understated it is. By simply saying the energy is interesting, it leaves room for the other person to respond, ask questions, or reflect on the comment. Sometimes the most memorable conversations are not the ones filled with long speeches or elaborate compliments. They're the ones where a small observation feels real and sincere. A simple sentence that highlights someone's presence can change the tone of an interaction more than people expect. When someone says, "I enjoy talking with you," it feels different. The words may sound simple, but they carry a quiet emotional weight. In everyday conversations, people rarely pause to acknowledge the feeling of the moment itself. Most interactions move quickly from topic to topic without anyone expressing how the conversation actually feels. Because of that, when someone calmly points it out, it can create a meaningful shift in the atmosphere. This sentence works because it focuses on the experience rather than trying to impress. Instead of giving a typical compliment or making a bold statement, it simply expresses appreciation for the interaction. That honesty often feels refreshing because it comes across as natural and grounded. People can usually sense when words are forced or exaggerated. But when someone speaks in a relaxed and genuine way, the message feels more believable. Saying that a conversation feels different suggests that something about the interaction stands out in a positive way without putting pressure on the moment. Another reason this sentence has an impact is that it highlights connection rather than appearance or status. Many compliments focus on external things like how someone looks or what they do. While those comments can be nice, they often stay on the surface. This sentence goes in another direction. It draws attention to the quality of the interaction itself. That subtle shift can make a conversation feel more personal. It signals that the time spent together is enjoyable, not because of any obvious reason, but because of the feeling created between two people during the exchange.